What's up, agents? It's Dwerewolf Gaming back in action. Today we're diving in one of the most underrated playstyles in Division 2, the hybrid build. Today's build isn't just about raw power or taking damage. It's about balance, flexibility, and domination. Hybrid builds let you melt enemies and survive the chaos at the same time. Think of it as having the best of both worlds, red, blue, and yellow, all working together in perfect harmony. So if you're tired of one-dimensional builds and want to hit harder, stay alive longer, and adapt to any situation the game throws at you, stick around, agents, because this is where versatility meets destruction. Alright, agents, so today's build, like I just stated, will focus on hybrid builds. The main thing in this build, though, agents, is that hybrid builds allow you to change what you're doing on the fly. This is what really makes them stands out. There are a lot of builds in this game that you can use to make hybrid setups. For example, I've used hybrid builds using Striker's Gamble set and even ongoing directive set. Today's build will showcase a gear set that I never really fully used all the gear pieces for it to put this build together. But as you see in the gameplay, agents, this build works great and great survivability. Now, as always, I wanted to give you a little bit of gameplay in the beginning, show you how this build works, how it functions. Then we'll go over the build breakdown. And then shortly after, guys, we will finish up the rest of this mission. I do want to give a big thank you to everyone that continues to support me on the channel, especially those who always have something positive to say, guys. We really appreciate you for your valued time and continued support.
Figure out what they're doing here. See if you can find any intel on their operation. Tag anything useful and I'll send in a recovery team later.
And blow the shit out of anything too dangerous.
Division! Let's get it!
Alright, agents, as you see in the gameplay, this is a very powerful setup, especially for those who play this game solo, mostly like myself. With that being said, if you're new to this game and you do want to obtain the weapon that I'm currently using, guys, there are multiple ways to obtain it. The name of this gun is called a capacitor. Overall, it's a very versatile gun and very powerful. One of the easiest ways to obtain this weapon is just to go to the summit, complete a certain amount of tasks within the summit, and it will be rewarded to you automatically. But if you don't want to take that route, guys, you can also set your targeted loot in the summit and form it there as well, or even the countdown. And just make sure to set on assault rifles. Again, the name of this gun, guys, in the start of the show is called a capacitor. The core stats that come in this gun, as you can see, I do have a total weapon damage of 159.89k with an RPM of 741 in the magazine. Headshot damage sitting right there at 75%, and optimal range is 31. Keep in mind, I do have a weapon expertise at 30% on this gun, and the core attributes are fully maxed out with assault rifle damage, 12% damage to armor, and 10% damage to target out of cover. The weapon handling is pretty good in this gun as well, as far as the accuracy and stability goes, and the reload time isn't that bad either. Alright, the talent that comes in this gun is called capacitance, and basically shooting enemies builds up stacks to a cap of 40. Each stack grants 1.5% increase in skill damage, and after 5 seconds, stacks decay 1 per second. For each skill tier, you gain 7.5% increase in weapon damage. So keep that in mind. Each skill tier you have, you gain 7.5% increase in weapon damage. The mods coming in this gun is 10% critical hit chance plus 11 rounds, 30% increase in critical hit damage, and 10% weapon handling. You cannot change the mods on this weapon. Alright, your secondary weapon didn't really matter. I did have the throwing shotgun equipped, so when those enemies get up close, I can take them out pretty quickly. As you can see, it's fully maxed out as well with a weapon expertise of 15%. The talent is what truly stands out. It's called Perfect Brazen. You receive 3.5% increase in amplified damage on the next shot with the weapon for each pellet that hits the target. If at least 4 pellets hit, killing an enemy will provide 8% increase in amplified damage on the next shot. The mod I do have is 20% increase in reload speed. All right, for this gear set, guys, we do have 3 pieces on of the Palisade Steelwork set, and that gives us 10% armor on a kill, 60% increase in health, and 1 skill tier. For the core attribute, as you can see, I did roll an additional skill tier, and the attributes, guys, we was going for critical hit chance and critical hit damage. We did have 2 6% critical hit chance attributes and a 12% critical hit damage attribute on this mask. All right, for the chest, it is the second piece of the Palisade Steelwork set, and for the core attribute, we did have armor core, and again, the attributes was critical hit chance and critical hit damage. The talent we did roll on this chest, guys, is called kinetic momentum, and basically, when in combat, each skill generates a stack while active or not on cooldown. The stacks increase your total skill damage by 1.5% and total skill repair by 2%, up to 15 stacks per skill. Basically, the loss when they're on cooldowns. Keep that in mind. If the skills are on cooldown, you won't have any of these stacks. For the holster, we did go with the Pocaro's holster, which is the main piece of the Brazos set, and it basically one piece gives you 10% increase in skill haste. We do have 2 pieces on, which gives us an additional skill tier. For the core attribute, we did have an armor core, comes automatically on this. We did have a 6% critical hit chance and a 10% increase in weapon damage. What really stands out about this holster is that it comes with weapon damage and an armor core on it. All right, for the knee pads, it is the 3rd piece of the Steelwork set. And for the core attribute, we did have weapon damage. And again, the attributes were critical hit chance and critical hit damage. All right, for the gloves, it is the 2nd piece of the Brazos set. For the core attribute, we did have an armor core. And again, the attributes, guys, was going for critical hit chance and critical hit damage. For the backpack, guys, really does not need any introduction. It is the Memento backpack. It comes with all 3 cores, and that is weapon, armor, and a skill tier. We did have a 12% critical hit damage attribute on it, but the talent is what truly stands out on this backpack. Basically, the talent is called Kill Confirm. Enemies you kill drop a trophy on death. Collecting trophies provide both a short and long-term buff. The first one scales with the number of core attributes equipped, and this lasts for 10 seconds. So basically, every red core is 5% increase in weapon damage. So for example, if you have 2 red cores on your build, that's 10% increase in weapon damage. For each blue core, it's 10% bonus armor, and each yellow is 5% increase in skill efficiency. For every trophy you collect, you gain an additional plus 1% weapon damage, plus 1% skill efficiency, and 0.1% armor regenerates for 300 seconds. You get a max of 30 stacks. When you have 30 stacks, that is 30% increase in weapon damage, skill efficiency, and 3% armor regeneration. Overall, amazing backpack, guys, especially for you solo gamers. For the skills, guys, this was very flexible because this is a hybrid build. As you see in the gameplay, I was changing up my skills a lot. I used the sharpener trap some. I did use the turret, and I also will use the shock trap as well. So like I said, guys, because this build is so flexible, you can use any skill that works best for you. All right, so let's take a look at the weapon stats. On this build, guys, we were sitting there right there at 142,604 weapon damage. We did have a 56% critical hit chance with 147% critical hit damage. Headshot damage was 75% when using the capacitor. We did have 12% increase in armor damage, and that is because of the capacitor. And let's take a look at the armor. But all weapon damage bonus, as you can see, is 117.5%. Make sure you have the correct weapon elements to get your increase in assault rifle damage. We're sitting right there with a bonus of 30% increase in assault rifle damage and 15% increase in bonus in shotgun damage. All right, as far as the armor, this is a very balanced build in my opinion, guys, but this build is very flexible because if you paid attention to my main cores, I could have re-rolled those to armor, weapon, or even skill. All right, as far as armor, we had 1,493,751. We did have 149,375 armor back on the kill. It is showing 0 armor regeneration, but keep in mind when we do have our memento stacks, that goes up to 3% armor regeneration. We are sitting right there at max health of 561,000 on this build. This is a very powerful setup, guys, and I do think if you're solo or new to this game, you will truly enjoy this build. All right, for the class specialization, we did go with the technician, guys, but we could have even went with the gunner or any class specialization you prefer because we are able to change the cores on our gear pieces to help give us those additional skill tiers. We do currently have a skill tier 5, but we could have easily got 6 tiers on this build. One thing about the technician specialization is one of the passives that it does give you is an additional skill tier, and that is why we did go with the technician class specialization. All right, another weapon that you could have used that I did not have equipped was the TDI card custom. I did not have it in my inventory as far as when I was recording this video, but that also, as long as you have the gun in your hand, it gives you an additional skill tier. All right, agents, one thing I do want to point out is that like I stated earlier, My weapon expertise on my primary weapon I was using was 30%, so keep that in mind if you do put this build together and you don't see the same damage numbers. Another factor that will play a part in your build is your SHD watch level. If your SHD watch level is at least 1000, you will be at the same baseline of doing the same amount of damage as you see me doing in the gameplay today. So the goal is, guys, is to get your watch level at least to 1000, and you have all the passives unlocked as far as your bonus and weapon handling, weapon damage, and everything associated with your SHD watch level. Beyond, basically, when you get at least 1000, there are no more passives that you can gain for your watch level. So it doesn't matter what high of a level you see a person's SHD level. Basically, beyond 1000, it does not make a difference in the gameplay. The only two factors that will play a part, like I said, is your watch level and your expertise level. All right, agents, stick around for the rest of the gameplay. And if you like the content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Really do appreciate those who always take time to leave a thumbs up or even leave a positive feedback as well. All right, Dwerewolf out.
Flowing water, as evidenced by these images. By ocean, Martian explored has evidence of more recent water flows as well, ranging from gullies and dried river systems to what appear to be ancient lakes. There are also minerals present on the surface of Mars that could only have been formed in a liquid water environment. Today, water can be found on Mars largely as ice at the Martian North Pole.
Mechanical components detected.
Agent, have Isaac scan the parts. Setting a recovery team. Link up with them and you'll be done there.
Components identified. Suggested use. Construction.
There must be even pieces from the museum's collection. they can rig it with a warhead and some means of propulsion, they wouldn't even need a guidance system to hit the White House or... True Sun's munitions factory is out of action and they lost a big stockpile of ordnance. Throw in the fact that the settlements can scavenge those workbenches and tools, and I'd say it's been a pretty good day.